So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our beautiful viewers around the globe. And thank you for joining us again for another intimate conversation. And today's intimate conversation is with a gorgeous woman I've known for a few years now and follow online again, as we do on social media, keep in touch, is the gorgeous Malin Rydesjö. See, now I can't even say it. We've been practicing, excuse me, but Malin, introduce yourself with your name and I'll read the rest.
My name is Malin Rydesjö. It's a Swedish name, so it's difficult to pronounce.
Rydesjö. Yes, gorgeous. Thank you. I'm so bad at that. But yes, and we're Malin is on line from Sweden, which is really lovely. So I love this about our internet and the web we can connect to everyone all over the world. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I will just welcome anyway, Marlon, for sure. And it's so lovely to be here again with you, just having a connecting in. We haven't done that for a little while. It's been a few years since we did. So it's really lovely. But I'll just introduce you to everybody so that they can all catch up with who you are. So Marlon is an intuitive and connected to source energy. And in that field of DAO, she guides people home to their essence through energy medicine. After having worked as a yoga teacher and yoga therapist for Ayurveda, stress management, mindfulness, etc., as companions for years, she was spontaneously initiated to different traditions, which made her clairvoyant and right into the center of shamanism, tantra, and other wisdoms behind disciplines. Her path on earth is to awaken the divine in humans and unite us all to peace and love. Through phone sessions, treatments, and teaching, she guides people into the multidimensional realms and teaches people how to discern energies, clear them, and bring in the true essence. In this work, we unfold the flow of life force and expand the divine inside out. On that journey to more clarity and wholeness, we release programs, fears, contracts, numbness, and manipulations, etc., on different levels. That way, the truth is revealed. She's writing a book called The Energy Medicine, A Way Home, and has 4 different educations: energy medicine therapist, which she did for 1 year, stress coach online, and holistic energy massage and tantra massage. Beautiful, Marlon. And like I've said, following you for many years on all social media platform, um, I know that you love journeying as well into nature a lot and to just allow yourself to go wherever your spirit takes you, actually. And I see you out adventuring a lot. It's beautiful. So, one of the questions that I start these chats off with is, were you an awake child when you were, consciously aware when you were a little girl? And how was that in the dynamics of your family?
I discovered that I was awake as a child much later. So I had difficulties as a child because I didn't understand the world. So it was just like maybe 10 years ago that I realized that that was my struggle my whole life, to actually fall asleep and just adjust to the world around me.
Yeah.
And I accepted that actually what I felt and saw was true. Then the path of initiations came really fast, and I now realize that, well, truth is everywhere. It depends on how you look at it and from where you look at it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And what was the dynamics in your family like? Were any of your did anyone ever talk about spirit, or was there that internal um conversation at all, or awareness around?
Yeah. When I was a teenager, my grandparents died, and my auntie, she took my mom to a séance to meet grandma and everything, and myself, I was in the States as an au pair or an exchange student, and I was in
Yeah.
an act. And after that, when I came home, I wrote about life after death, and I was totally absorbed about, auras and what happens when we die and parallel lives. And so I read
Right.
everything about. And in that work, I met a lot of people interested in that. So we had that in common, mom and I, and some friends around. Um, I also got an astrologist reading from my mom when I turned 18. So yeah, it's been in the family for, yeah,
Yeah.
many.
Beautiful. And I know you have children. Are they that way inclined as well? Have you sort of you would have brought them all in onto that fold, I'm sure.
Yeah, yes. They've been everywhere with me when I taught yoga, having had retreats in India and stuff like that. But I think that my son is awake. My daughter is taught to be open. So her heart is really open, but she's not clairvoyant.
Right.
Uh, I think my son is though,
Yeah.
and he doesn't
Beautiful.
admit.
Right. Yeah.
He's only 17.
Yeah. 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 It is what it is, eh? Until whenever they might not ever really dive into it, but it's there for them, as it is with all of us. So, Sweden, Marlon, how are you finding Sweden and the awakening?
There are many subgroups in the awakening movement, and they are awakening in different communities. And some of them are bridging the communities now. So I would say that it's quite an awakened country in that way. But then we have another, the opposite polarity to that, like
Yeah.
the military is expanding, and COVID did some things with that, and so. But I see that the burner community, the tantra community, the yoga community, they're all kind of coming together as one. And that's really beautiful to see.
Right. So more coming on board. Do you feel like there's a wave here of I'm really seeing I don't it's like there's so many different little parts to it, but this beautiful coming together in many ways. And what I've also been seeing is the masculine coming in and really honoring the feminine. There's men now that are coming into that softness that's really sort of starting to really stand beside and support the feminine in this journey now. It's really beautiful. And there wasn't a lot of them, was there?
They work a lot in their own communities and brotherhood work and stuff like
Yeah,
that, men's circles. So
yeah,
that's beautiful to see.
yeah. And what do you feel is something that needs to be sort of set up in Sweden? Is there anything or in that in the industry sort of thing? Are there many sort of clinics and health spots around?
Um, to say this feels a bit not so good, but there are many, many people that take a course and then they share it as teachings. And it's good to share knowledge, but it's like it's becoming an industry with the Tantra world and everything. So, what we need, I think, is to actually acknowledge um, the bridging between everything, that we should create a new paradigm where we can find one unique source, and that is love, I
Yeah.
think,
Mm,
and not be so obsessed with the disciplines. And it's very popular with the CAP, for example, Kundalini awakening processes, and it's good because things happen.
yeah.
It's really popular with breath work and Wim Hof and people. They do things so that they can awaken their
Yeah.
cells.
Yeah.
So it is a process. But on the question, what is needed, I think we need more bridging, and we need to know that we need to create a new platform where we can stand as solid individuals, groups, and communities.
Right.
It's really needed, and not only in Sweden, we need to do it internationally.
Yeah, I think so too. Absolutely. New Zealand's coming on board though. I can see that there's many, yeah, like I say, many things that have occurred since the COVID era. And it's like it's taken people, their children out of mainstream schooling into homeschooling and setting up other little groups that, connecting with all the other homeschoolers. Um, there's lots and lots of things that are starting to sort of really take shape here, which, is not big at the moment, but it's growing into, and I'm really quite excited about it all. It's like there's a definite change, and particularly in like I'm seeing with the masculine, they're really standing up beside the woman now, and it's a lovely thing. It's very, very beautiful, actually. Um, so Marlon, tell us some of the things that occurred for you that sort of brought you more into the awakening through your life. What were some of those experiences maybe that you had that were those, aha moments that took you into that deep dive somewhere?
I worked at public health institute before, and then they moved to another city, and I didn't want to go. So
Right.
instead of just jumping on the next thing, I heard this voice inside of me that said, "Wait." And I waited and waited and waited, and suddenly this yoga sign showed up, and that was like the first
Right.
initiation kind of to this kind of path, working with inner peace.
Yes.
And it took years before I really realized and met, I guess, masters. I was in India for many times, bowing to, praying and reading and meditating.
Yeah.
Then just suddenly I had an initiation. It was like this guru, the painting or the picture of a guru. He was dead, but yet he told me, take my shoes on.
Yeah.
And say, I can't take your shoes on, take my shoes on. And then the mantra of Guru Nanak and that tradition just circled with gold all the way inside of
Mm.
me. Just had the notion that I should just go out, or that it that said to me, go out and talk about this to the world with your words. And that was one initiation.
Beautiful. And do you sort of how do you feel about the guru thing now? Like, for me, I've always felt that it was about, following masters, and now we are the masters. It's switched over, and I've always said to people, how do you spell guru? Guru, and it's like we are all gurus, aren't we? But it can start with those masters for sure. But you feel you've mastered.
I never thought about masters. It's like that's why I have a difficulty saying that. But in
Yes.
other people's minds, they are. So my initiations, even though the Christ consciousness came through a person called Jesus and everything, I mean, we are equal, and it's just energy,
Yes.
energy in different vibration that we can integrate in our physical beings, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally agree. There's nothing
Mm.
outside of us, and there's never been. But
No.
we can believe.
Yeah. Yeah. And so in teaching people, like, do you have you're a bit on the move at the moment, aren't you? But you usually have a clinic or somewhere you can work from.
I'm a nomad, so I give my teachings in different places, but and also I don't teach.
Yeah.
uh, I create space, and I have this 1 year teacher training to become an energy medicine therapist. And what I do is that I create this space, and my work is to mirror people's gifts and bring, like, take away what hinders them to feel who they truly are. And
Right.
so it's a journey through a year.
Yeah. That's
So I've
gorgeous.
different places that I've given treatments and stuff before, but now I go around to do that.
Mm. And just in Sweden, or do you travel outside of that realm?
I've been here now for
Excuse me.
2020. Before that, I had loads of retreats, and it seems like I'm going out again now. Um, I'm just waiting for my heart to show me the way.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's there's still that point in here where there's not a lot of vision forward, is there? Like we were very much you could see parts forward, for years and years, and then we really needed to come into the moment, more into the present now. And then just over last year, we had in around the Lionsgate, there was a huge, massive wave that came through and is still actually that Stargate, that portal's still open. It's still pouring in this beautiful divine love for me. It's just blanketing the earth with this beautiful energy. And that there took us and swept us. And it was like I kept hearing we've and now in a new timeline. And that timeline now is the future timeline. Before we were in this now, but we were still clearing out the past. Now we're in this present that is now the future pathway. And it's like the only thing that I could really feel that and strong in that moment was that it was to put all this most positive into it, whatever, the most positive you could be to put that into your personal journey. And now there's sort of snippets of things showing up, but it's still showing us that, well, it's not showing us a lot just yet. And it is like that. I think so many people I'm around and speak with a lot who are teachers, healers, whatever we might call ourselves, leaders in this realm, are sort of all sitting in that precipice of waiting for something to show up, to show us where we're heading, because we can feel that there's a massive change within us all, and that we're really still in the throes of sort of like I call it recreating ourselves. There's still new things that are turning up that are going to add in, and not so much of the releasing anymore. It's more the building, and I feel these next 2 years are really about the building and putting together new parts of self and awakening to them, reminding ourselves of ourself again in a different way. Mm,
Way of seeing it is that we've entered like an opposite that goes inside, but now it's like expanding
yes.
360 from that 0 point.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's not a direction,
No, it's
all the,
exactly.
including everyone and everything in this
Yeah.
now. And
Yeah.
that's the future, I think, the liquid time.
Mm, it is totally that. Absolutely. And it's just very exciting though, eh? I know I get excited. That's always been me, but people will look at me like, really? How can you be so excited about this? It's a mess. You know, Looking at the world and everything that's going on, it's a mess. How do you get excited about that? But I'm like, yay, at least it's breaking down. At least we're breaking through it and, revealing it for what it really is. And yeah, it's very cool. It's
I
been a
love how you see it, how it, yeah, how the energy flows. I love
yeah,
it.
yeah. And seeing, as I say to people, when we've broken so much down within ourselves, we've been just like, wow, moving things on and integrating all sorts. And if you look at that, that's the breakdown. It's happening in here. It's got to happen out there. It's just got to. So yeah, it's fun. So your
Fun.
next
It's fun, but it is happening.
It is happening and it is tiring and it can be very stressful at some point, depending on where your head is. But it's
But
when you
it's a time where we go in now where it's more joyous, more
yes,
easy, more together. It's
yes,
not a fight as it was.
yeah,
So I see a lot of people coming over that, top,
yeah,
and
that's
now to ride the wave.
yeah, yeah.
So
So just doing more of what you're already doing, Marlon, in respect to your work and your playtime that you do.
What was that a question?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Mm.
Is it just a matter of doing more of what you're doing? Because at the moment you can't really see where you're going.
No, it's that it's deepening the presence and in that also being more sheer,
Yeah,
like opening up channels inside where there are many, many entities that can come through in that space. So I'd rather see myself doing that present work or beingness. Um,
okay. So in assisting people through those collected entities, is that what you're saying?
well, not only people. I sit here in
Yeah,
my home and I just bring entities home to
right.
them.
Yes.
Through me being gentle, through me being sheer and graceful. So it's like the deeds need to go through me so that I
Yeah,
raise my quality, my frequency in those deeds. In gratitude, for example, it's not just I'm grateful. It's more about what is the purest quality of gratitude
the feeling, the vibration of gratitude. Yeah.
and bring that even higher,
Mm-hmm.
crystal kind of and higher those qualities within the world and
Yeah,
expand them and extend them and also bring them together so it's not like yeah I know gratitude but I have no idea about the other deeds,
right. Yeah.
bringing everything together and it's done here, so it's
Mm,
about understanding a lot about um, what is happening beyond time and within space right now and catch the openings that are because there are so many portals right now.
yeah.
Uh, wow, it's just the Maya is totally gone, right? It's just
Yeah.
clear. And so I think I'm practicing and exploring how to be more, even more human in this time.
Right. Yes. Yeah, yeah. The superhuman. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and that part there for me has always been what's been exciting for me was working out how this physical body, our biology works in this whole realm and how we can help ourselves here by finding out how this works, in relation to vibration and sound, well, vibration and energy and looking more at everything being that energy rather than looking at it being the physical human thing, coming from that realm. And that has always helped me, in relaying things with clients, so helping them to see situations more from a vibration and energy side rather than that human emotional, and it just makes life easier when you look at it like that because you don't have to have an attachment. There's no attachment.
right.
It's just is, and you can easily move through that.
Mm, sure.
Mm.
So when we get in connection with our source self, not only our highest self, but the source in itself,
Yeah, yeah.
clarity, then
Mm.
everything is just matter,
It is.
different matter. And how do we explore that in the field that we are all in?
Mm.
How can we clear and transform and flow and dance in the matter?
Yes,
That's what excites me.
it does me too.
And also the matter coming from different galaxies as well, and how much density has come in these last couple of years that we have now transformed and cleared and brought home to itself. Um, yeah,
Yeah. I know there's been a lot to take in, hasn't there? You know, a lot, or like you're saying, lots of pockets. And what I'm noticing now is those pockets, you know, those streams. Um, yeah, and the difference in them. And maybe there's it's not even about reading them, but I try to read them and see, you know, being the intuitive, finding out what those pockets might mean, have a message. What is the frequency of them? And it's very cool. I love it. I love it. Mm.
Yeah, I somehow try to understand it too, the vastness of it all, and I don't know if it's meaningful at all, but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
keep on doing that. From where is that big bang are we talking about right now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fun though. It's fun tracking it. And I know it's helped me with, you know, with clients, but also with children, you know, tracking them and where they go in their selves, you know, when they leave their body at nighttime and sleep, to see why they're having such bad nightmares and things like that, you know, and it's it's very interesting the things that have been showing up and where they do go and what they are up to. And at the moment, I'm just looking into a lady who's passed over. But when I go into for her family, she's definitely stuck somewhere, and I'm trying to figure out where it is she's stuck and how, if possible, to release her. She's screaming from that space, but she's very stuck. So not being able to transition, she hasn't been able to, and so that's another little interesting trip I'm on at the moment, trying to figure all that out and see where she's gone. I find her, but I'm not sure what the realm is that she's in. Mm.
I can sense it a little bit, and I think it's not all of her. It could be a piece of her. So maybe if you connect with another piece of her, both of you can work on that missing piece there.
Yeah,
But I really interesting in working with mental health. If
yeah,
we bring all of us together to see how can we, yeah, bring this knowledge to people that are mentally sick
yeah,
that take these medicines and only
yeah.
create more mass.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. No, that's another it's so huge though. There's so many, so many. The
Yeah, but
words
it's a mistake in the system. So if
totally.
we could work from a systematic way instead of individuals only, then maybe we could figure something out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've been sitting on that fence for a little while actually, quite a while. Because I know the ones that have been brought to me who have been on that precipice of they would have been medicated and put into a ward if they'd gone to the medical side of things rather than this side with me. Um, and knowing the help that I was able to give them, it concerned me for many years about the ones that were stuck in the wards and on medication and they're not getting the right assistance. And I've got a friend who works in those wards, and she said it's just got since over the last 4 years, you know, with all the stuff that's gone on over those 4 years, she said they can't cope with the workload. There's just so many now that have just crossed over into those realms, and it's just they can't cope with it. They're not coping with it. Yeah. And we had a lot of you know, just the other day we had a lady up on top of the hospital trying to jump off, and you know, it's getting bad. But it is a realm that hopefully there can be some sort of change in that. Like we're seeing all these mums and dads taking their children out of mainstream education board systems, you know, and And so, therefore, there's new things that people are looking at in the sense of education for children. And I know that the medical's taking a sort of there's parts of that that are sort of breaking away, that are changing things. So hopefully that can sort of come into that realm as well with the mental health.
Yeah, I
Because, yeah,
mean, knowledge and wisdom is coming out into every person, so
yes,
in collective mind. So, but having courses or inviting people working with mental health could be something.
yeah, yeah. I know. I think it is there's something now that needs to sort of fit in there, but we'll see how that rolls, I suppose. But it's pretty big. It's heavy, you know, for the families, for them. It's a sad thing. Mm. So, what else, Marlon? Anything else you'd like to share with the viewers and message to the world?
When you just you're in it, it's difficult to just bring one
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
but I have noticed, and that's how I work. I notice myself doing things, so I'm just following my intuition a lot. So
yeah,
I've noticed my human be more concerned about the state of like war and peace questions. I've been my whole life. I mean,
yeah,
I was born with a voice, work for peace, until I realized I am peace. I don't
yeah.
have to work for anything, but I have to be more peace. So we are in a situation in the world where there is a lot of polarity.
Mm,
We see, at least in Sweden, that the military, they want to expand. We need more weapons. We need more of that side. And I think you mentioned superhuman. I think it is actually time not to just sit and say peace, love, and understanding and create our communities. It is important that we as individuals find total peace within, so that we can
mm,
step into the divine and just realize that we are held, we are one. We yeah, we don't have to fight for anything.
yeah,
And in that space, really take action and create a world where this can be tangible for people that are in the polarity
yes,
world. And so that's why we need another kind of paradigm, a new language where we can speak about energies without it being really
I know. Hey, yeah,
yeah. So it's just like common things that when we meet, we meet. We don't talk, we
yeah.
meet. So that really is something I would like to say then.
Beautiful.
Find the peace inside, take help from other people to find the divine inside. I mean, we can't get sustainability outside if we don't have it inside.
That's
We
right.
know that from research.
Mm,
So we have to find each other and see who can mirror us and not be afraid to be
mm.
mirrored,
Yeah,
because the mirror is the key to more love.
it is.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. And I do feel these communities are starting to take form, and they probably move a little bit within each other, changing some things up somewhere. But I think we're starting to, like I say, these next 2 years, I really believe are going to be a building, so building more that new world that we're looking at and wanting here and all of that. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what actually comes out over these next few years. But
And
yeah,
I can
beautiful.
also I can also mention a path, a way to do that is that
Yeah.
we go from be inviting people to our homes, being a host, serving other people, giving, to a space holding, like
Mm,
invite people to the home and just ask for. Someone can cook, someone can do something else. We
Yeah.
can even have a massage exchange, or do things together, co-create. That
Yes,
we really need to start to do that, because otherwise we keep the separation,
we
uh,
do. Exactly. Yeah,
and we
that's
don't
exactly right. Mm.
afraid to just invite people to your crazy home, just to hang out together and talk openly about things.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was just saying that to a friend who came and stayed for Christmas, over Christmas and New Year and everything. And I said, all my life I feel what I've done in my home, because I've always had lots of people coming and going, is that I hold space. You come in, everything you're doing here is your choice. It's not me programming you to do this, that, or the other. I'm just holding space for you. And there'll be moments in there where maybe your choice doesn't fit the space, you know. That's your thing to look at and to ponder and to wonder. But I'm just holding space, and I can feel that expansiveness in that when I was saying it to this person and explaining it in the sense that I was the way I could see it. And I felt like that was more where we are on the planet. And those of us who know this, we are now more holding space for everyone to, and it's then allowing, really, just allowing them to be where they are, what they need to be doing for themselves and in that space and time. And I think that more and more that's happening. It's beautiful and will continue to. I can feel that. Mm. So yes, peace to this world, and I feel more and more people are finding that peace within, because it's got to come from there, doesn't it? We all know this. And that seems to be happening more and more too. A lot of more people are stepping out of the old narratives, just not even engaging in any of that anymore and empowering it to be there, because you do when you're engaging into it, you're giving your power to it. So those things are happening. I see many people have unplugged and moving this way rather than in that stuff. So yay, I think we're heading in the right direction if there's a direction. But we're all on board. I can see that more and
Everything
more on
goes.
board. Yeah,
Yeah, letting go
yeah,
of finding out that, oh, I can receive help. It's already done. We're in this together. Just
yes,
ask for what you need, and you will get what you need.
yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful flow in that energy, isn't there?
Mhm.
Like it turns up instantly now, just instant.
You're amazing in that abundance work.
I love it. It's like it charges me up. I just started a course, honestly, and I'm so stuck in it because I can't decide what course I want to put out there. I've got about 8 that I'd like to, and I've got so far in this year course to do this, put your things out online and create online courses, and I got stuck in, well, I really buzz out on that, so I think that's the one I need to start with.
Mm.
Oh my goodness me. Now I need to catch up because I've stalled myself for so many months. It's terrible. But anyway, we'll get there.
Yeah,
But yes, beautiful speaking with you and chatting with you today, Marlon, and thank you so much for saying yes to coming in. Um, I love you. Like there's just always been this connection we've had that just was so heart. And yeah, I love seeing what you're up to, and I love all your posts that you put up on Facebook and everywhere. It's just beautiful to stay connected, and that all helps us stay connected too sometimes, eh? It's beautiful. Mm.
glad that we live here at the same time, you and I. I love you
Me
too.
too. Yeah, me too. I love it too. Thank you so, so much. And just, yeah, love what you're doing.
Love
See
what you're
you.
doing. Yes,
Yeah.
see. Thank you.
Mm.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.